man? It's your boy, Mr. GC, Adrian Taylor, back at it again, man. And yeah, man, still a little bit under the weather, man. Trying to get my health together. But I wanted to do a video, and this is different, you know what I mean? Cause if you don't know, you will know. Or I'm telling you now. I am learning Spanish. I am studying Spanish. I have been probably studying Spanish off and on, because I kind of did stop for a while, but I'll say off and on for about a year and a half. And it's tough. And I want to be brutally honest with the process that I personally have gone through, because you know, it's tough when you see a lot of videos, a lot of people saying like, oh, you become fluent within a month, learn Spanish in a month, learn Spanish in 3 months, you know, all of these different things. And you're like, whew. Personally, I think they're selling you a dream, and I don't think that they're being honest with you as far as the results. Can you have a conversation after a month? Sure you can. Are you really going to be fluent? Probably not. Are you going to really retain the things that you learned? Say if you stop speaking consistently for a couple of weeks? Probably not. But, you know, hey, can you have a basic conversation in Spanish? Yes. So the level that I'm on personally in Spanish, and like I said, I've been off and on for about a year and a half. You know, I actually took a test, and you know, I'm actually at an advanced level, which I think is a lie. Actually, speaking and writing. Reading, more of a intermediate level. And then listening. Whoo! Listening, I'm struggling. You know what I mean? Which makes it extremely hard, you know, in conversation, because it's like, I know how to have a conversation, I know how to talk. And depending on what the conversation is, you know, it's extremely hard, right? Because why? I can't really understand you sometimes, especially a native speaker. You know, if I talk to tutors and stuff like that, you know, we could talk for an hour, and, you know, I may not understand a word here or there, but we can hold a conversation. But now if I'm talking to someone off the streets, depending on the conversation, you know, you'd be like, oh, you're fluent in Spanish. Or it's like, bro, like, I thought you spoke Spanish. Like, you don't understand nothing that I'm really saying right now. All depends on where they from. All depends on the conversation. That shouldn't, you know, deter you from continuing to learn. Everybody learns at a different pace. So I know a lot of information comes out like, oh, learn Spanish in a month, learn Spanish in 3 months. You know, it all depends on what you want to learn. If you want to have a basic understanding of Spanish, you know, when you go somewhere, you want to order food, or you want to, you know, ask for directions to a hotel, you know, simple things, then for sure you can, you know, after a couple months, you know, you'll be good to go to be able to navigate. But if you're trying to talk about everyday conversations, maybe you watch this show in Spanish, or you watching this movie in Spanish, and now you want to have a full-fledged conversation in Spanish about that, you're probably not going to be able to do that after a couple of months of practicing Spanish, unless, you know, hey, you just have an ear for Spanish or any other language that you're learning. And I think that people need to be more understanding, because, you know, we live in a microwave society that we want instant results, and sometimes it's just not that easy. You got to put the work in. You got to practice every day, todos los días. You have to practice to consistently get results. And you will find that you have dead spots, you know, throughout your journey. And to simply put a time frame on it, I think is a disservice to yourself, because you'll find yourself extremely upset, because I was one of them. I put a time frame on the level that I expected to be in Spanish. And so now, backtracking, I don't put a time frame on it. You know, I'm in for the long haul. You know, my family, you know, being Puerto Rican. My wife and you know, in my extended family. It's like, okay, I have to take the time to learn this if I want to get better. And you know, I realize, like, as days go by, my conversation get better. I'm able to talk on a level that she understands, and vice versa, and with other people. But like I said, it surely wasn't in a couple months. I could have basic conversations, you know what I'm saying? Hey, how you doing? What's going? How was your day? You know, what did you do? You know what I'm saying? The simple stuff. But for me, you know what I'm saying, especially before, it's like, oh, hey, if someone was to ask me in Spanish how to get somewhere, it's like, oh no, I can't do that. So you see what I'm saying? It's levels. It's different levels to it, you know, than having the basic understanding of the language. And like I said, I think people, because we're such a microwave society, they set people up for failure. Because what happens, if you take this program, right, and in your mind, when you think of fluent, you think of fluent. Like, I could pretty much have a conversation no matter what, right? And so after 3 months, you're like, man, I'm nowhere close to that. You get discouraged. You get extremely discouraged. You know, now some people will be like, oh, I see my progress, so I'm gonna keep going, and they will, but others get extremely discouraged. So don't put a time frame on it. Just continue to practice. And whether it's an hour a day, 10 minutes a day, 15 minutes a day, whether you're talking to yourself, whether you're reading in Spanish, whether you're listening to conversations in Spanish, you know, I can also, if people want to know, I can tell them, you know, what I do, and how I practice, and, you know, and some of the websites that I use, you know, I can let you know that. But don't get discouraged. Don't listen to people that say they're, you know, I can get you fluent in 3 months. Don't listen to any of that, because everyone has their own timetable, and I don't want people to get discouraged, because it is not easy. Because how are you gonna learn a language in 3 months in simply 15 minutes a day? You see what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I don't know how you're gonna retain all of that information to learning a language. I mean, you know, you might be basic, but getting to the point of where you probably want to be, I don't see that being possible. And that's just honesty. You know, hey, if somebody has learned the language and fully fluent, can pretty much talk about all subject matters and things of that nature, let me know. Let me know, because I want to talk to you, because I want to know what it is that you did that really magnified your time to getting better at the language. But, you know, it's extremely hard, extremely difficult. Sometimes you feel like you regressed. Even now, man, I could talk to somebody, and today it's like, I'm great, perfect. But just to say I'm having a conversation and I'm tired, you know what I'm saying? Like, my Spanish is not going to be on point, because I'm tired. It's not my native tongue. I'm not, you know, exactly quote unquote fluent yet. And so I done had a long day, and now you want to talk to me in Spanish. I'm going to struggle. But at the same time, I welcome that, because me being tired, me not being at my best and still speaking the language is ultimately just going to help me, you know, get better. So, you know what I'm saying, man? Don't get discouraged. It's hard. It's tough. You have to embody yourself in the language and keep going, man. Like, my phone and stuff like that, it's in Spanish. Like, when I listen to the radio, I listen to radio in Spanish. I try to watch sports in Spanish. I've been trying to change pretty much everything. When I watch movies, I try to watch most movies in Spanish, to incorporate that in my everyday life. And I talk, you know what I'm saying, every day in Spanish. I try to. So, hey man, if it ain't happening fast enough for you, don't get discouraged. And then ultimately, don't put a time frame on it, because it might take you 6 months. It could take you 1.5 years. It could take you 2 years. It could take you 3 years. But if you're committed to it, it's gonna happen. And everything will come together, you know, slowly but surely. All right, man. It's your boy, Mr. GC, Adrian Taylor. And oh yeah, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe all in one swoop. Any questions, man, hit me up. Drop me a comment. All right, man. Peace.